appear as though we are somehow derelict in our international duties if we don't enact whatever the industry lobby throws on our desk and says, this is our wish list, you must make it happen.
The wish list for Canada was simple: lock-up culture. Which brings us to point 3. Our future is becoming less free. The thin edge of this wedge is technology known as digital rights management. Using this technology, the record and movie companies can prevent you from copying CDs, DVDs, and files to your computer. Rather than letting the law decide what you can and can't do, now some corporate software will decide for you.
I just call it the urinary tract infection business model. Right? It used to be that, like with a CD or with other media, all the uses of it flowed freely and easily. But with the new regime for DRM, every new use flows in a small, painful, spurting drip. Right? Every time you press a button on your remote, that's another 3 cents out of your pocket for the new rewinding right, and the new pausing right, and the new, watching this in your minivan right.
And free speech isn't in this Bill of Rights. So forget fair use. That's forbidden now. The only way I can make a mashup movie is to use software that breaks the locks put on these movies. But under Canada's proposed laws, that's a $20,000 infringement. I've done a lot of that. And I even gave a copy of the vault cracking software to my editor. Now he's on the hook for 20 grand. Sorry, Tony. And for giving him these tools, I could be fined $100,000 and go to jail for 5 years.
What we saw in the U.S. is that there was a real pressure to lock down every possible right. It becomes a question, are we talking about updating copyright for the 21st century, or are we talking about actually using this fear of copyright to bring forward a radical rewriting of copyright, so you actually have copyright in areas that would never be before?
So let's look at the American record. Lawsuits against 10-year-olds, subpoenas delivered at schools against stroke victims, against dead people. You can't put locks on your citizens.
When you're online, it's easy to find out who you are. Okay? We have the date, the name, the address, and all the 2,000 songs that you had up on your computer illegally. Okay? And you can get 5 years in jail and $250,000 fines for every single song you steal.
Isn't that a little overboard?
No, the reason why, because there's a thing called intellectual property. Intellectual property is the property of somebody's mind, okay? If I write a song about love, my unique expression about love is my property, okay? I don't own the rights to the concept of love. I wish I did. That becomes my property. I have a copyright that lasts for my life plus 70 years.
How many of you guys here actually do download music off the internet right now? Tell the truth. Do you guys, like, how many of you guys actually think that when you're downloading your music that you're stealing it?
Since the internet came along, the entertainment lobby in the United States has pushed the government towards tougher and tougher laws, leading to lawsuits being filed against more than 24,000 American citizens.
My name is Dave Grubel.
Ray J. Schwartz.
I live in Colleyville, Texas.
I live in New York City.
My family has been sued by the RIAA.
They had about 9 or so songs targeted on there that we had allegedly downloaded.
They threaten you with a very large sum of money.
And they wanted somewhere around $4,500 to settle.
100,000.
I could be charged at a minimum $750 per song, all the way up to $150,000 per song.
Now they're going after my kids.
They're going after people on welfare. They're going after people on disability. They're going after people that don't have anything.
Most of these people were forced to settle. They couldn't afford to face the RIAA in court. So without being found guilty of anything, they lost thousands of dollars, and not a penny went to the artists that were supposedly being defended. But when Jamie Thomas, a single mom in Minnesota, refused to settle, she ended up in court accused of downloading 24 songs, the equivalent of 2 greatest hits albums.
Okay.
Let's listen to her playlist of shame.
The verdict was that I had infringed, that I was liable for copyright infringement for 24 songs, $9,250 per song, for a total of $222,000. They can take up to 25% of my wages to try and pay back the amount.
Just a small town girl, living in a...
Mr. Gabriel, who is the lead attorney for the plaintiffs, said it best on the steps after the verdict was read. The very first statement out of his mouth was, "This is what happens when you don't settle." It wasn't a matter of, you know, we won or this, that, and the other. That's the very first thing he said, is this is what happens when you don't settle. I was like thinking, oh my God, I'm going to lose my house. I'm going to lose everything.
Heather, what's the reaction like up there?
Well, the record companies, Frank, are very happy.
This does send a message, I hope, that downloading and distributing our copyrighted recordings is not okay.
You know, I love Journey as much as the next person, but seriously, how far should industry be permitted to go to protect 24 songs that you can buy for $8.99 at Safeway?
And I don't know these debts, so if you have any questions...
Why shouldn't they be wiretapping this apartment? After all, here we are talking about means by which music may be stolen. You know, before the radio and the record came along, the only way that people made money from making music was by standing in a hall and being charismatic. The fact is, technology giveth, technology taketh away. What was a business model in 1909 may be the business model in 2009. What was a business model in 1939 may not be the business model in 2007. That's how it goes.
In 2007, the business model of music was completely rewritten. Radiohead, the biggest band in the world, left the record label EMI to release their next album on the internet. And they let their fans decide how much to pay for it. Within a matter of weeks, a San Francisco DJ named Amp Live started remixing the album.
Don't lose your head. Don't lose your head. Don't lose your head.
But the moment he put the songs on his website, Amp Live got a cease and desist letter threatening a lawsuit.
In Rainbows is one of the top Radiohead albums. I'm a big Radiohead fan, and it was all done in celebration. Maybe it's not even Radiohead, you know what I'm saying? Maybe it's some company that's involved with them that's mad because they put their music out free, being innovative, and the company's not making money right now.
Radiohead didn't send that letter. It was the company they sold their publishing rights to, Warner Chappell, the same people who own Happy Birthday. But Radiohead was now independent, and they called the shots. They told Warner to back off.
Big thanks to all the people who are sending in those YouTube clips.
I love Radiohead. No, I love Radiohead more. I love Amp Live.
And Radiohead kept going, releasing the raw studio sessions of their singles and then their videos, so fans could make their own Radiohead songs. And just like that, the wall fell down between musicians, remixers, and fans. The music industry had refused to evolve, so we evolved for them.
Hello, my name is Greg Gillis in this cubicle, and outside of here everyone knows me as Girl Talk. It is Friday, and I'll be leaving in a few minutes to play in front of 400 kids who like my sample-based collage music.
It's Friday night, and we're going to see Girl Talk.
Show these titans, these music titans, these big-ass companies, show them where the real power lies at, man. It lies with us. Don't buy that shit.
I know there's a lot of cameras in the audience. The shit is not about me. It's about all of us because we're the same motherfucking person. Yeah!